Talks about woman's brains and a man's brain.
And how a man's brain is,
We have these little boxes. Boxes.
no,
We take it out.
that's
And
right.
you put the box
We
back.
put it back.
Put it back in.
And then our favorite box is the nothing.
But a woman's box, a woman, she's everywhere.
Right, the box is
Everything is connected to everything.
Yeah, I mean, he's up there, he's going, ding, ding.
There he is. See the boxes, it's just chaos.
Oh, I'm telling you. And a woman.
It may be a lot of nothing.
A man says, oh my
So,
God. Anyway, yeah, I'll come.
yes. Yeah. Well, it's right there, but I never put it together like that. So, yeah. Right. And that may be all you need to say.
And this is just
So, appreciate it. Thank you.
Hello, who are you? You're USS Will Watcher. My husband. No, he was on a Hunley, which was a sub-tender, which took care of him. So he got stuck out in the middle of Ashley Cooper River on the tail of the submarine, fixing the light, and they forgot him and left him out there all day, and he about could. It was bad. 76. Really? Well,
We're stationed out of Fort Worth.
oh, okay.
Like I said.
I remember, well, he got to
I don't know,
go
I just kind of
around Chile and down around through there and go to Hawaii and Guam. He got to do that, but mostly he was stationed in Charleston, South Carolina, so we just vacationed. One nothing wrong with that.
This, no, that will be, water rate, but.
It was, like I said, it passed. It wasn't gonna change whether something passed or not.
Is there gonna be just like a mini presentation?
He's here to answer questions.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't be able to do that. It's really not her necessarily.
So,
During the public.
not much, he didn't have his phone number for that. That's for sure. But all,
But it's really just Harry.
I have found over the years dealing, all they ever hear is race. That's all. They don't hear it. No, it's not.
Okay, sports fans, we need to get going. We got a full agenda. I've got 6:30. Most of the agenda is what I would say routine, but it is quite a bit of end of year cleanup things that we need to do. So I will officially call the meeting to order, and we will start with pledge to the flag. There we go. Thank you, Rob. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Have all my board members had a chance to take a look at the minutes from the last board meeting? Okay. I will entertain a motion to approve. Okay, got a motion from Russell to approve the minutes as presented. Can I get a second, please?
Second?
Second from Jenny. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right. funeral deeds. And these, do we need a separate motion for the funeral? We can do it.
You want to make a motion for that line, the deeds, the vouchers? all
Okay,
that
I'll let
line.
everybody finish. Vouchers and the bills all came into our email. In a motion to approve payroll deeds, adjustments, payroll vouchers, and monthly bills. Okay, motion from Jenny. Can I get a second?
Second.
Glenn? All those in favor signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
I guess I could turn the Christmas. Okay, the second installment of the service contracts. Dollars for the Juanis? Here, Andy, are you authorized to? Who is the treasurer? Can you see to it that this gets to her?
Yes.
$3,000 for the second. Thank you. Fire department, 12,500, half of 25. This is the last of the 2025 monies. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. So the 26 contracts have been sent out. You might, Sandy, you might ask Ann if she or Mark has seen the 2026 contract for Juanis. One said that the fire department has got theirs. He has signed it. I was thinking Mike might be here tonight. And we've got the 2026 Main Street agreement here as well. Vote to from the board side, or go ahead and Alex?
Sonia.
I'd recommend take.
Okay. So the fire department contract, I don't believe anything is changing. The amount is still $25,000 for 2026. Juanis's contract is still $6,000 for 20. Main Street's amount will be $500 for. In a motion, allow me to go ahead and sign these on behalf of the town. So can I get a second, please? Morris, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. Alex, your contract is in order. $150 an hour. Should have been an attorney, Alex. I'd settle for legal assistant at $85 an hour.
Has he been fully vetted?
Yeah. I've seen him in action a few
Just a
times,
joke.
and he's
I'm not
worth it.
serious.
So I'll make the motion that we approve Alex's contract. 85, and this is hourly. We don't have you on a retainer. Everything is hourly, isn't it? So I'll make that motion that we approve Alex's contract. Second? Okay. Those in favor signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
All opposed? Sign right now, Alex? Ah. The town marshal's contract. Annual thing, January 1st to December 31st, 2026. Marshal salary, $2,614.61, paid in biweekly compensation. So that's every 2 weeks. There's 26 periods. Okay. This represents a 3% increase.
Yeah.
Salary ordinance. Get a motion to approve the marshal's contract for 2026? Jenny, can I get a second, please? Russell? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? She's got a space here for everybody. Deputy Marshal's contract, again biweekly, 6 pay periods, $1,980.77. This will be for Luke. I will make the motion that we go ahead and approve this. Get a second, please. Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye, please. Aye. All opposed? Clerk Conquest. Gloria has certified she has not violated the town of Westport nepotism policy. Finds relatives resident prior to the end of the calendar year, December 8th, 2025. Gloria. This. Honey, you're here for Main Street. Sign the Main Street contract. Get out of the way. Send this one on down. Get a pen. And when the fire department contract comes in, John, I'll just go ahead and sign. I don't think so. If you think all. Okay. Okay, we'll track it down. Okay. Commonwealth wants to talk. Spencer, welcome.
Good evening, everyone. I just have a brief update on our wastewater and water testing projects here in Westport. For our wastewater project, no significant construction has occurred in the last 30 days. And for our IDEM reapplication for the permit for construction, we are finalizing our plans right now for resubmission. We have finalized the application and have sent the application via email.
Have a copy that I can sign?
I did.
He did send it via email.
As for some of the smaller items, the gate at the entrance to the wastewater plant, the posts have been set and the gate has been hung. I believe Striegel is waiting on their subcontractor to still come out and install the instrumentation and the controls for the solar panel activation. As for the next 2 weeks, Striegel plans to be on site at the lift station installing the concrete work and the lift station platform. And Cummins will be in town on the 17th to drop off the new generator and pick up the old generator. For our water testing project, testing has gone as expected. We are this week, tomorrow, it will be our 7th week of weekly testing, with next week being the last week of the weekly testing. After that, we'll go to testing once a month for 10 months, and that will be the end of our water testing. I have an item to present tonight, change order 4. That would be for our wastewater projects, and it's just costs associated with Striegel's work on the side of the original Sagar system, as items like discarding the topsoil, mobilization, demobilization. That would be a additive $61,300 with no additional time needed.
Probably ought to vote on that. This is a change order after we uncovered the open, closed pump, what it's called, surface thing. Covered it back up, mobilized. We have to extend the permit for our system. Sagar won't go in summer. Did I get that right? Is that right? You have the change order with you?
Yes.
It's a cost increase of $61,300 coming out of agency. And he's got it itemized here on the last page. It's coming. Okay. That'll pretty much, well, he's doing work at the station. Been down to the dump. You've seen the new gates. They are installed, but they're held together by a bungee cord. So. Okay. Can I get a motion? I will make the motion to approve change order number 4. I get a second, please. Russell? Any other questions for Spencer? One in favor of this, please signify by saying aye, please. Aye. Opposed? Go
Do you
ahead.
have like a, like when we're going to find out what's going on with the water test? Have kind of a date?
We've been receiving testing back about once a week for the past few weeks.
Uh-huh.
We've currently received 4 weeks of data back, and I believe that we're going to have a technical report ready for you guys after we get about 8 weeks of testing done. So
Okay.
about a month or so.
Okay, good deal, good deal.
Do I have the raw data? Okay. I did get something today. Did that just go to me? Okay. Since I got that today, I can share that with the rest of my board members.
There you go.
Uh-oh. I just signed in the engineer spot.
I have a second copy.
What?
I have a second copy.
Let's do that. Didn't have the little arrow pointing to where I was supposed to sign.
It's my bad.
Recommended by engineer. Rachel, is that your spot, or Spencer?
It would be, yeah.
So I'm the authorized owner.
Yes.
Got it.
Sorry about that.
There we go. Got it right that time. Yes, it is. Check and make sure, please, that I got it right. I think I did. Yep.
It's all good.
All right. Thank you, Spencer.
Thank you.
Right.
Okay, with you. So, Alex, the revenue bond anticipation notes extension.
Yeah, so our bond counsel, Tom Pittman, reached out to me late last week, advised that since the ban ended, looks like through June 16th, 2025, that this extension certificate, which sets the interest rates at 2.66% per annum between December 15, 2025 and needed to be signed relatively soon. I went ahead and have that as an agenda item this evening.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Ban is not as in prohibiting or banning. It is bond anticipation notes. It's an acronym. And this has to do with the bonds for our sewer project that we would have closed on had the project completed this year. Now that the Sagar system has to move, extension on notes. This is that extension.
This is essentially the USDA their funding. They go through funding.
Okay.
So this is the document signed by the town consenting to the terms of that on an interest rate through June 16, 2026. You'll see on the second page, this will also then go to the bond bank for signature
Right?
after the town.
Okay, I will make the motion that we approve this bond anticipation notes extension. Second, please. Any? Any other discussion? You guys understand what we're doing? Why? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye, please. Aye. All opposed? Okay. Okay, public hearing, water rate ordinance 2025-6. Going to open it up for public comment. And yeah, and ask Mr. Novak. Mike did our rate study for us that came up with the rates here. Jenny, I think your question, or was it, there was a question about the amount that's in the bill. The ordinance is a little confusing to read. So I've got my bill here with me. And my water charge has been $38.30 for months. That is because my consumption is less than 2,500 gallons. For November, it was 1,491 gallons. So if you consume less than 2,500 and you look at your bill, the water portion of your bill should always have been last month and previous months, $38.30. And under this ordinance here, that is going up 2% pretty much per year for the next 4 years. That's what this ordinance does. And if you take 3830 and multiply it by 1.02, come up with $39. Actually, 36.6. So this first 2,500 gallons, Mike, I don't want to speak for you. Why don't you go ahead and come on up? Take 3907 and subtract that off. That is, subtract 2,500 gallons, 1,594 from the 3907. You're left with, what would you call it, the infrastructure cost?
Infrastructure side of it. Anyway, I'm Mike Novak with the Indiana Rural Community Assistance Program. I've been working with them for about 24 years. I'm out of originally engineering, public works manager, and well, I just had a lot of jobs over. I'm not a young man, but anyway, our services are provided through federal government, through U.S. Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, EPA, and Health and Human Services. All services we provide the community are free. Charge for any of those because we are paid through the federal government. You do pay for our services because you do pay taxes. You know, that's where that comes from. We were asked by Westport to look at your rate structure. Initially, when we look at rate structures, we want to make sure that ratios are not just one-to-one. In other words, coming in is going out. A little bit of a buffer. Talk to the town. We're interested in higher ratio. Or that you'd have a buffer, so if you came up with situations that you hadn't anticipated, you'll have enough money reserved to be not have to borrow money. Bill is really a two-part bill. Part of the bill is what they call the infrastructure portion. And that takes care of infrastructure that you currently have, water and wastewater, collection system, and also distribution. So that first part of the bill, you'll look at, we'll just look at the meter size, the 5/8 by 3/4. Under that 5/8 by 3/4, you're allowed to use up to 2,500 gallons. So that cost is $39.07. So basically, if you break that bill down, if you looked at the consumption per month, that first 2,500 gallons is covered under that charge per month. And so it's $15.63. You can subtract that from the $39.07. The rest of that, repairs or maintenance. Water side of that, or the water usage itself, is $15.63, and that covers everything. Production of the water and stuff like that. That's, the bill is typically, most communities that we work with, you see the final bill, $39.07, then you're wondering what the per month charge is, and you can see from that just gives you an idea what they're charging for those first 2,500 gallons. So you don't have to pay any more. If you're using under 2,500 gallons,
$39.07 is what the
$39.07.
bill's going to be.
if you using more than that, they go to they go through that consumption, where it's next 2,500 is 14. So it's a reduction in the rates as you use more gallons. You guys do that. Not everybody does that. Some increase, some decrease. Depends on what you want to do. If you're looking at attracting businesses or something, commercial or industrial, a lot of times they'll charge less for more gallons to attract business. It doesn't affect the customer at all. That's kind of why they do that. So it's a decline, what they call a declining rate, and then you have what they call an increasing rate. So, like I said, when they asked us to look at this, we wanted to go out about 4 years. We were able to put a rate study together and showed those increases on a per year basis for the next 4 years. And that also gives us an idea of looking at the rates this year. Are they paying for everything they need to pay for? And then they can reevaluate. They can reevaluate next year, see where they're at. So like I said, they asked us to go out 4 years, and we did go out 4 years. The rates are not high. You may think they are, but they're not. I live in Hancock County, subdivision of 450. Like populations we work with are under 10,000. Typically, most of the populations we work with, probably under 1,000. Got about 15 projects throughout the state. I'm a senior rural development specialist. Also on the technical side, we look at infrastructure. So we try to help the communities in that perspective. Where I live, our water rates are $48 a month. And our
Only.
Water only. Our wastewater rates are $97 a month.
97?
Yes, ma'am,
Wow.
97.
So your base bill is like 100, roughly close to 150.
And we have quite a few communities that are smaller than yours that are paying. Northern Appalachia up there is just wastewater, and they're at 103. But the problem here is the population, having enough ratepayers to be able to
Yeah.
pay all the bills that are due. You do have loans out. So part of that billing is also, part of the rate structure also pays for debt service. So that has to be included as well. So like I said, we looked at it fairly closely, worked with the town on that. Got any other questions? I'd be perfectly happy to answer those.
Yeah, I'll open it up for public comment at this time. If anybody's got any questions for Mike or the board. The difference between what I'm paying now for water and what I will under this new plan is 77 cents a month. That's my 2%. That's probably going to be the bulk. Probably that'd be what you'll pay, Mom. You know how many gallons you guys use, Mrs. Black? You're under 2,500, which is,
Brian,
yeah.
someone online asked if you could bring your microphones closer. They said they can't hear any of the council talking.
Wow. Okay.
Me?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. So lean in.
Okay. Yes, Sandy. I would guess it's flat, but what would you say, Gloria? Or Carolyn, you have a,
It's, yeah. We're slightly more
Okay.
right now. 2000, the year 2000 was the highest we've ever had of connected users. Right now, between water and wastewater, we have 697. On my reports, I generally put anywhere from 650 to 670 as current usage. Someone moves in, they turn their account off or on, someone else moves out, it flows, like you have people coming and going all the time, but it's very similar to what it was. What was the last rate, 2021, or last increase?
I think so.
Very similar to that.
Yeah, I mean, some of the issues, and you have engineers here as well, that I can tell you the cost of projects now has steadily gone up. I mean, we've seen projects that typically look at 10%, and we've seen them actually go out for bid and be actually 30% more project that initially anticipated is, you know, they go 10% up and 10% down. Hard to anticipate 30%, but the way it's been lately. Kind of to break it down, I always like to break it down to the per gallon basis. If you look at the rate and you look at the number of gallons that you're allowed, less than a penny a gallon. I don't know where you can get that kind of a deal anywhere else. Plus go through what they have to go through to test the water, produce the water, test the water. A lot more testing that goes on now, a lot more treatment processes that have to go on. So, you know, it's not like having your own well where you go to the health department, they look at see if you have E. coli or an issue like that, or iron or something like that, but they're testing for metals, they're testing for all kinds of products that wouldn't anticipate. Well, you can pay for testing. Testing is not cheap. Do some of this stuff. So, I mean, it's all built into your water rates. As I said, I mean, these are probably some of the lower water rates I've seen. And I work throughout the state. I work north, south, not so much south, but central and north.
Would you, microphone part about cheaper, things that we don't, that ours is cheaper?
Your system, your rates are some of the lower rates that I've seen in the state. I don't know if your engineers want to talk about it, but but yeah, it's some of the lower rates. Typically with rural development, you know, we're looking at a new project probably in the 60s. Maybe it depends. SRF is tiered, so the interest rates that you get from SRF are dependent upon what your rates are. So you can get a higher rate that you have, lower interest rate you can pay. HHS, that's community development block grants, We work with them to a certain extent, but that's a fixed amount, and that's a grant. You do have to come up with at least 20% match to make yourself competitive. I used to be 10%, but went up to about 20% to be competitive for that. But, you know, it's a whole different situation when you're working with the Community Development Block Grant System through the Office of Community Rural Affairs. But like I said, I mean, 3907, and even, I guess, looking out towards the fourth year, I think you're only at $41.46. So, you know, you've gone up about $3 in 4 years. And I can assure you that costs are not going to go down by any means. I mean, electrical costs, you know, gasoline, whatever. You know, like I've been around since the 50s, so I can't buy gas for 25 cents anymore. Can't buy a loaf of bread for 20 cents. So, you know, it's a situation where things go up, and you guys have done a good job as far as trying to meet your needs and requirements. Okay, from my professional perspective, you've done a great job maintaining your rates at that low amount.
Just don't hear a lot of that. You understand what I'm saying? When you're out walking or talking and you talk to people, one of the first things they say is, why is your water and sewer so absolutely high? And, you know, when you say that, it means a lot.
Yeah.
It means a lot to, you know,
We are compared a lot to Greensburg, Columbus.
oh, and you
No, I mean, you
can't,
can't compare
can't do that.
population sizes
Step
from
closer.
Columbus or Greensburg to you. That's just not,
Exactly.
you know, I mean, the system I came out of, whereas Public Works was 5,000, you know, and I can assure you that our costs were higher than yours. But that we had a more evolved system than what you have, so it's, you know, it's not that, but, you know, it's like I said, I mean, if you go to the 7-Eleven or someplace and buy a bottle of water, it costs you what, $1.45 or $2, whatever the amount is. Okay, that's not a gallon. And you're only paying 0.01 cents or 0.001 cents per gallon. It's a deal. I don't care what anybody thinks, that's a deal.
Yeah.
If you had to buy that, and even if you have your own well, you got electrical costs. You've got, if the pump goes bad, you know, if you're doing any kind of treatment on that well, you have to pay for that as well. So, I mean, you guys have done a really decent job. You approached me because you've got some projects coming up that you'd like to have available money to pay for and not have to go out, you know, for loans or grants or whatever. You know, we're not assured of anything as far as the grants are concerned, where that's going to go. U.S., you know, interest rates, you know, they're fairly low. And I've seen a lot higher. Back in the 60s, we had a wastewater treatment grant loan that was like 6.7%. You know, so I mean, it fluctuates. You're at a fairly decent rate. I've seen as low as 1.85, which is a really good rate, but that only lasted for like 6 months. So everybody wants it at 1.85. You know, once it starts going up, then, you know, it becomes an issue. But like I said, you know, your rates are low, and you guys are doing a good job of managing your system. You've had good operators, which, you know, sometimes that's an issue that can cost you money as well. So, and that's not getting any cheaper either. Your operation costs, as far as your operators are concerned, we have a lack of operators. It's hard to find operators, and it's really hard to find good operators. So, you know, we've done the best we can do. Like I said, we didn't charge for this. If this were a USDA project, I mean, you were actually asking for a loan grant from USDA or from SRF, then you have to go through a whole scenario, and hire a consultant to do that. But I think you guys know that on a year-to-year basis, not that big of a deal. But if you're going after grants or loans, then it is a bigger deal. And the federal government wants you to use. But then you look at the cost of doing those. And even if you did it on a year-to-year basis, you know, I've had quotes now for some communities that come to us and say, well, they want $10,000 or $14,000 just to do like a
A rate
tree
study?
Yeah, just do a rate study. Doesn't make any sense. I can understand if the feds are requiring you to have a full-blown analysis, but I mean, I've got a number of degrees myself, so I mean, I've done financial accounting and everything else. So, unfortunately, we're being paid by the feds. You might, if you take advantage of it, that's great. And if you don't take advantage of it, somebody else will. So your tax money is being used, we're able to provide those services and we can do it at no cost to you. So,
Okay, any other questions? How are you? As far as,
I'm good. The
Okay.
explanation.
okay, good.
well, I appreciate that.
All right.
Thank you.
Is this second reading on this one? I believe it is. Since we did
And
first
you'll need to
reading.
close the.
Oh, so we'll say the public comment is closed on this. Thank you. And I will entertain a motion to approve. This is second reading, ordinance 2025-6 that shows the 2% increase up through January 1st of 2029. That's next.
Oh,
This is just the water rate.
oh.
I'll make the motion, we approve ordinance 2025-6 on second reading. Can I get a second, please?
Second.
Got a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye, please. Aye. All opposed? There's places for all of us to sign here. It's 8th December. Victoria, do you want to come up to the microphone? So this is a public hearing for the water tower grant application. Yeah.
Good evening. So this is the second and final public hearing for your grant application for the water improvement project. So what I'll do is read the required language and then take any comments or questions after that. On or about December 19th, 2025, the town of Westport intends to apply to the Indiana Office of Community and Rural Affairs for a grant from the State Community Development Block Grant CDBG Wastewater Drinking Water Program. This program is funded by Title I of the Housing and Community Development Act of 1974 as amended. These funds are to be used for a community development project that will include the following activities. The town of Westport's water project includes rehabilitation efforts for the only elevated storage tank in the distribution system. The rehabilitation at the tank includes a full blast and recoat of the tank interior and exterior, non-coating related work on the interior and exterior of the tank, site security improvements, and other general site improvements. Included in the work will also be the temporary relocation of the emergency response repeater equipment. The total amount of CDBG funds to be requested is $451,223. The amount of CDBG funds proposed to be used for activities that will benefit low to moderate income persons is approximately $236,440.85, or 52.4% of the request. The town also proposes to expend an estimated $115,000 in non-CDBG funds. These will come from, Gloria, correct me, $15,000 from the Water Utility Fund and $100,000 from the Wastewater Utility Fund. So the purpose of this public hearing is to provide any interested parties an opportunity to comment on the proposed project.
Okay, public hearing is open. Anybody got any questions? We've talked about the water tower, getting it redone to protect our water system. We've had, they weren't public hearings. What would you call the meetings we did?
Public engagement meetings.
Public engagement meetings at the town hall, and that's the one you came to, John. And then we did another one in the front room of the community building later that day. We had a couple of residents submit letters of support for the water tower project. This is another step in the grant application project process we have to do. Yeah, go ahead.
Damon, do you have?
It may be an engineer question.
Yeah, we can ask and get clarity and get an answer to you.
Good question. Yeah.
That's a valid point.
Yep. Okay. Anything else? I believe the application has already been submitted, has it not?
So the draft application was submitted and then the
Okay.
final one is due by December 19th. So
Gotcha.
the survey is still open. So if anybody hasn't taken the survey, feel free to do that. It'll still be helpful for the final application. And then award announcements are sometime in February. They don't have their official calendar out yet.
Okay. All right. The sign-up sheet is still going around. Any other questions, public input? All right, I will close the public input portion. Make sure you go ahead and sign in. I do have a resolution here that basically we are loaning money to ourselves to cover the portion 115,000, and that's what's reflected in here. 100,000 from the wastewater utility fund and 15,000 from the water utility fund cover our portion. That's assuming we get the grant and the project goes forward. This is our commitment to do the match.
Correct.
Okay. Looks like it's only got my signature here.
Yes.
There
And
is a
Gloria's
letter.
also
There, what?
on the resolution. Gloria's signature
Right.
and yours. Yep.
And there is a letter here to Stephen St. John, CDBG Director, basically certifying the same numbers, 100, that we have the backing, 115,000, and Gloria's signatures on that. Since I'm going to sign, could I get somebody else make the motion to go ahead and approve this resolution?
I will.
Okay, Dolores, got a second from Glenn. All those approved, please indicate by saying aye, please. Aye. Aye. All opposed? All right,
Thank you.
thank you, Victoria. Okay. Now, okay, that was the water tower. Wage and compensation ordinance. This is second reading on it. And we've approved the marshal's contract, so they are, that's in here. That's given a range. There's really nothing new. This is the second reading of this. Talks about, so we are still not charging single employees to participate in the insurance. If they have a dependent or a family, the employees pay 35% of that premium, and the town covers the 65%. For their dependents. Also talks about if we've got somebody eligible for Medicare, we'll pay for a supplement, 100% for the employee and 65% for an employee dependent, which is typically cheaper than keeping them on private insurance. Okay. Any questions on this? Second reading? I'll make the motion. We approve ordinance 2025-9 for second reading. It's the ordinance establishing salaries, compensation for employees and select elected officers, effective January 1st, 2026. Got a second? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? December. Your imagination, only three blanks. Just go ahead and sign. Anywhere, sign at the top. We'll leave the 2 blanks for, so you get to sign wherever. Cut and paste.
See how you are. Make
Yeah.
us be just whatever, huh?
It's only got 3 blanks when we've got a 3-member board. Don't go over to the other side. Just that's the nay column. All right. Nuisance ordinance. I was supposed to get this to Joe and Luke, our town marshal and deputy. I just did that today. So they haven't really had time to take a look at this. But I will open this up for public comment. If anybody's had a chance to read the nuisance ordinance. Have we even done a first reading on this? Okay. So I have verbally agreed to Russell that I would not push a vote on this until he gets back from Florida. Honestly, I don't think we're going to need this until late spring next summer. But I still do plan on moving forward with it. The more I read it, the more I like it. Anybody had a chance to take a look at this, and do we have any public comment on the nuisance ordinance? It really consolidates a lot of stuff that we've already got into one ordinance. Alex put some fines in here. First offense, not to exceed $100. Second offense within 12 months, not to exceed $500. Third and subsequent offenses within 12 months, fine not to exceed $1,000 per day of continuing violation. I think it's got some teeth. What I'm going to ask Joe and Luke if their opinion of enforceability, gray area. Could a future board abuse this nuisance? We try to define, but there's always questions about that. Yeah, Sandy. Smoked. Yep, there was. And we have not made any changes. So that's something I probably should go ahead and discuss with Joe or with Alex. If we do make any changes, Alex, that'll probably be where it's going to be. Yeah, John? No. Okay, I don't. Let me follow up with him. If it came in via email, I may have missed it. But okay. This is right. Yeah.
I want to ask a question. On page 2, under section 3, the letter H, loud, unnecessary or unreasonable noise that disturbs another's comfort. Would a barking dog that barks for 30 minutes, day or night, or when you come in from work at 1 a.m. in the morning, would that include that kind of a nuisance? Because that does disturb comfort. I'm just asking a question.
Yeah, and
It's a real situation
Sure.
I'm talking about,
yeah.
not
And
far from my house.
That is between the hours of 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. per your question, right? So Alex, is that a question for you or is that a question for Joe? Would our town law enforcement be comfortable trying to enforce that scenario under this ordinance?
Yeah, I think that's so, question is, does that meet the definition of the ordinance? And I think if that's something that is a sustained loud noise between the times and it's impacting other person's ability to enjoy their own home, then the answer is yes, it likely would meet it. But the question is, practically speaking, is that something that, how do you capture that? Is that something that, different communities use like a citizen complaint form. Others, because oftentimes, especially with a noise complaint, let's say it's a moving vehicle, hard to capture that. And by the time law enforcement shows up, that vehicle is gone. It sounds like in your case, as long as they show up within 30 minutes, they're likely to observe that barking. And so, I think it would be a good idea to talk to law enforcement and figure out, practically speaking, how would they, and likely how have they handled that scenario? Where do they think that this ordinance fits into enforcement mechanisms that are already in place? And we certainly don't want to put something in place that's not practical, but we also don't want to put something in place where they feel as though it's just not possible for them. But I think there's the question of what does the ordinance say, and practically speaking, what are law enforcement's capabilities?
Thank you. Thank you.
So I can give a real life example. Over on West Street, we've had a complaint, and the neighbor that's doing the complaining has been very proliferous in giving me videos. Description of complaint: accumulation of scrap metal, appliances, and lawn equipment, burning of junk, and noises of cutting metal at all hours of the night, running an unauthorized business in a residential neighborhood. So we got him for violating ordinance 2020-5, cans, glass, paper, large appliances, tires, wheels, rims. Got him on the burning ordinance, 1987-7. Other, running an unauthorized junk business in a residential neighborhood violates Article 10, Section 1030 R2, conditional uses, and I give paragraph numbers of the Decatur County zoning ordinance as adopted by the Westport Town Council. He has 10 days to clean up trash. Let's see here. Yeah.
It's
So-
you, Sandy. It's you. It's you.
So here's one of the pictures. I think I can blow it up too a little. That's the big offender right there.
I went by there today, and he has done away with a lot. Really remarkable what all he has done.
There's another side, and you can see the trailer over on the right there. Here is in the middle of the night. There's a timestamp on the picture. Evidence that he's running a business. He's been advertising on Facebook. So I sent all this got sent to him saying, hey, you need to cease and desist all of your junking activities. But I had to cite two different ordinances plus other. Tenant shall cease and desist all junk business activities immediately. On receipt of this violation letter, tenant shall also cease illegal burning, of hazardous waste, plastics, mattresses, and anything that is not natural yard waste. All burning of anything after dark shall cease immediately. So, as far as we can tell, he has complied. Junk is gone. Things are cleaned up a little bit. The trailer is gone, the junk is gone. Now, the question is it going to reappear? And with this would consolidate all of those ordinances I just cited into one, what it would do. And I'd have to look at the violation penalties in terms of the $100, $500, $1,000. The amounts in these other ordinances that we've already got, they could be all over the place. I don't have them memorized. But this is a real life example of in the middle of the night, banging, he's cutting metal. This would be designed to stop him. Right now, we have nothing on the books that addresses that noise. I just put it in there because that was part of the complaint. So, anyway, that's the intent for this thing here, is to get at stuff like this.
Alex, if you know of such, I know of the party that is doing the noise thing with the vehicle. Should I talk to him or should I not talk?
We can kind of talk offline about that.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
I did catch that vehicle the other day and I followed it out of town on West Street. I don't know where it went after that because I turned and went to the dump. But yeah, I don't know how that doesn't rattle his windshield out of the
It rattles your
vehicle.
windows if you're in
He
your house.
did have his windows down, I noticed. I think that would create pressure on the eardrums. Any other comments about the nuisance ordinance? Don't want to take any action tonight. We do want to continue. We need to work on the smoke piece. Okay. Superintendent Public Works, Damon.
Good evening. Just want to give a quick bridge update. Crane was set up today. I believe the beams are getting set tomorrow, and we're probably looking at
There you go.
we're probably looking at the around the second week of January to getting the bridge open back up, as long as weather and everything goes as good and bridge decks are on time and all that. Stormwater update. Wiley Street is done with the exception of replacing a culvert under Wiley Street, which my crew is doing that. Let me rephrase that. My crew is in the town employees, not my
Gotcha.
business. And we're gonna get that done, here, hopefully this week. It's on my schedule. As long as everything goes good, we're gonna get it done this week. It works great. If anybody wants to see a video of it working, I have one. I could show you. And we've already had questions. As soon as we got it done, we got like a 3-inch rain like the next day, and I already got phone calls. It was not designed to get rid of the water immediately. It was designed to slowly get rid of it so we're not flooding nobody else and still going the natural way of the flow. It was designed so that you don't have water sitting in your yard for days on end like it was. So if anybody hears anything on that, that's the clarification on that. The storm update on Shady Lane, it's about half done. Yesterday they blew the pump out of the excavator blew, so they're waiting on a new pump to come in, but it's about half done. What's going to the north, if you ever went down Shady Lane, or if you'll notice a crown in it, so about halfway there, maybe not quite halfway, but that's all getting drained to the north, and everything before the crown will be drained to the south to existing storm sewers. Other than that, only other thing I have is see if I can get permission to sell the 98 Chevy. It's the truck itself runs good, but it's just at the age it's not feasible to put a new utility box on it, and it's pretty much rusted out. The doors it needs some work. The driver's door doesn't hardly open or shut, which I do plan on putting new pins in it before we sell it to somebody. At least get it working that enough. I do feel like the town in this one probably should put a little bit of reserve bid on it just to make sure that, because I mean, it is worth some, because we'll have a snowplow with it, because we won't be able to use snowplow and anything else. It only fits that truck. So I would consider if we, when we take the sealed bids, put, at least $1,000, $1,200 reserve on it.
Okay.
And we also have the old Exmark mower we need to sell. We don't use, since we got the new one, we don't use it anymore. It's 20, I think it was 22, 23 years old. Continuously working on it, and it's got safety features off that, thankfully Colton was there the other day, because I'll tell you a quick dumb story on my end. We went to start it to move it, and I'd forgotten when you start that mower, the deck automatically starts with it. Well, I had my foot under the deck and had Milton not screamed, say, "Hey dude, move your foot." Probably would have had a workman's comp claim, and that's another reason why I want to,
Don't want to lose your foot.
yeah.
Okay.
So, just like permission to go ahead and, put that up for sealed bids and get rid of that too. So,
Do we need to make a motion for that?
I would make a motion for each of those individually because
Okay.
it sounds like there's an additional detail on the 98 Chevrolet. Regarding the
and reserve, I just an idea. That's totally up to you guys if you think we should or not. I mean, it's your equipment, so.
We have to specify the reserve in the motion, or can we agree to set that at the time of?
I think you could authorize the town superintendent of public works to
Okay.
set a reserve at his discretion.
I'll make the motion that we allow the sale of the 98
It's 98.
Chevy pickup
Correct.
plus snowplow,
Yes.
and also authorize the superintendent to set a reserve price. Make that motion. Can I just- Second from Dolores. All those in favor signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
All opposed? Carried unanimously. The Exmark mower, I will make a motion that we approve the sale of that. Need to make sure that we just let them know about the
Yeah. I will
starting
for sure.
procedure. It will be sold as is,
Correct.
for sure. The truck will be sold as is too.
Yes.
Motion that we go ahead and authorize the sale of the Exmark mower. Get a second, please.
Second.
Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Thank
right.
you. Does anybody have anything for me?
Alex, what can I say about the George Can property?
I believe if we have an order, there was filed into the case by the mediator that the parties mediated were successful and reached an agreement.
Okay.
I think providing high-level details.
High-level details about the George Can house over on Range, at Range Street?
Yes.
Yeah, over there by you. We had a mediation session the Friday before Thanksgiving with Beth and some family members. We didn't see them. They were in a separate room. Representing the town was myself and Damon and Alex. And the end of that mediation session, it was termed successful. We came to an agreement. We signed the agreement. Alex has submitted to the court. Long story short, after 90 days, we are authorized for demolition. And the 90 days are designed to give them time to get anything of sentimental value out of the house. Cost of the demolition will be placed on the property as a lien. When it sells, the town gets their demolition cost money back. So that was that. I thought it was successful, and it was very fascinating to watch the process work. It took a couple of hours, back and forth with the mediator 3-4 times maybe, as we got down into the details. But it was really interesting. So it was, right. Well,
Not necessarily.
it gets into the estate, which I don't know whether it's been opened yet. There's some details.
Or that it goes to the,
Right.
it could be paid through tax. So if they decide to keep it or pass it, doesn't sell, we would.
Alex assured me we are adequately protected.
Unless it goes to sheriff's sale, then we may not
Well.
get that. As I've learned from.
But they are paying their taxes. You can look that up on GIS. That's not the issue. Okay. Anything else from the floor? Yes.
Anna and Becky are our park board committee, half. And I want to commend them for their work. They've really been busy girls. How many surveys did we get in? 100.
I went to the Kiwanis Senior Citizens Dinner last Thursday. Carolyn made me 50 copies of the survey, park survey. I came back with 20. I gave out 30, which I thought was a pretty good number. We got lots of head nods. They gave me a couple minutes behind the microphone to explain what we were doing. And I mean, my table wasn't inundated, but I had a steady stream of people coming up and asking me for 1 or 2 copies of it. I think we're going to have some more come in. Well. Okay. Cool.
Oh, go ahead. So they sent out the schedule for the 2026 recycling programs. So right now they have the Westport electronic and paper recycling scheduled for April 11th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. So I wanted to check to make sure that that worked with. Nine to 11
This is the electronics recycling.
and paper shredding.
This is our, with solid waste. We typically would, is that when we would do our spring cleanup the Thursday before with our big dumpsters? We would try to coordinate, and then that Saturday we would do the electronics and the paper shredding. So 2026, April 11th is what they're looking at. Got plenty of notice, plenty of time to get it on the agenda for a couple of meetings next year. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Anything else from the floor? Anything else from my board members? We're a little over an hour. We didn't do too bad. I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Got the motion from Jenny. Second? Second by Russell. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yep.
All those in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.